In this video, let's take a look at the Raster Calculator tool and how we can use it to run a map algebra expression. So we're in the model for Lab 9. I'm looking at the weighted suitability model. And the weighted suitability overlay will be overlaying our weighted trail distance and our weighted slope and our weighted views, which are a little chaotic to look at all at once. But we have all these different layers reclassified on a scale of 1 to 4. So we want to overlay it so that a 4 on top of a 4 on top of a 4 will yield a 4. We need to give it a formula to basically add up the cell values, but weight or multiply each cell value by its influence or measure of importance in the model. So for our campsite suitability model, slope is the most important because we don't want to roll down a hill. Proximity to the trail is second important because we don't want to walk too far off of the trail. Views are really just a nice to have. So those are not as important. Those get a lower weight. So here is the formula that we need to enter in to do our weighted overlay. And we can implement this in Raster Calculator. So I'm going to go into my Raster Calculator tool. And this is our formula. Each layer, each raster layer, gets multiplied by its weight or measure of importance. And then that product is added to the other ones. To build this, what you need to do is look in the raster list up top. Notice how we have two different icons. This one right here represents the layers that are already in the model. So these are the 3 layers that are in the model. That's what we want to use. If you scroll down, look at this icon, it's just a yellow box. These are the ones that are coming from the map. If you double click on this, it will point to the one in the map. We want to use the ones that are already in the model. So we want to start by just clicking the 3 layers that need to go into the formula, and then we will format it. So weighted trail reclass, double click, space. Weighted slope reclass, double click, space. Weighted views reclass, double click. Okay. Now we have to format it. Each one of these needs to be multiplied by its weight, and we have to have a space. Space, asterisk, space, and then the weight. But each one also needs to be in parentheses, so then we have to go back and add our parentheses like that. So it's our raster name, space, asterisk, space, the weight. And then we have our plus sign, and we need a space like that. And then we'll do that for the next 2. Space, plus sign. Space, asterisk. This right here is now formatted correctly to do the weighted overlay. Multiply each cell value in each layer by 0.3, add it all up, and it will create a new raster with an overall suitability. Because we're multiplying by decimals, this will make the output raster be a floating point raster where the cell values have decimals. We actually want it to be whole numbers. We want to convert it to an integer. And we can do that right here in the same map algebra expression. There is a tool called int, I-N-T. And it can be used like a function in our expression. So we can literally just type in int and then put the whole expression in yet another set of parentheses. So now we have an extra one here and an extra one here. What this will do is execute this formula multiplying by the weights, but then convert the whole thing to integer when it's created. And you want to give it some good name like weighted overlay output. And that is how you can fill out your raster calculator. This one is a little bit more complicated than the binary. The binary is a lot simpler, but some key things for Map Algebra: make sure you are choosing the right raster layer name from the list. Because it's in a model, it also has these percent signs. And then make sure you have a space around each operator. Otherwise, it will not work. If there's anything wrong with your expression, like you forgot an extra parenthesis, you will get a warning up here or an error to let you know that something is wrong with it. Sometimes that error is vague, but go through and look at your formatting and the punctuation and the spacing and make sure it's all correct. And that's how you set up the raster calculator for a weighted overlay.